Good morning, everyone. I'm Ydira Rivera, pediatric pulmonologist at UT Southwestern. And so we've been, in addition to the toolkit, we've been working on developing a process through which we can create an HRC3 partner center network. And so bear with me, these are proposed ideas. And so this would be so that these centers have the minimum specialists required as well as the diagnostic testing and evaluation so that we can provide a multidisciplinary, holistic approach to the care of these patients. And so once a registry is available, then these centers would participate or that would be the expectation, that they participate in the center and provide data from their centers. The way we envision this would be for pilot programs that already have the infrastructure, such as Boston, UT Southwestern, Cincinnati, Michigan, Kansas City, and Colorado. And so we think there are some specialties that are required for these centers to function appropriately, and some of the other specialties would be ideal to have or a goal to add, and we are calling those suggested specialties. And so the required specialties are cardiology, general surgery, geneticist or genetic counselor, immunology or ID, pulmonology, and for the centers to have PCD center accreditation. The same holds true for diagnostic testing. We identify tests that we think should be required for these partner centers, and these include echoes, cardiac CTA, ECG and Holter, genetic testing, ciliary biopsy, abdominal ultrasound, splenic function testing, and nasal nitric oxide. And on the right of the table, then there are some suggested tests for these centers. We recognize that not every center will have the resources to have all these ancillary services, but they would definitely support the centers in positive ways. And so these centers are similar to what the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation centers have and recommend, as well as those of the PCD Foundation centers, with the exception perhaps of exercise physiologists. And so we are, the way we are envisioning this is to implement it in a phase-wise approach, with the phase one being those centers I mentioned earlier that have the infrastructure to initiate the process, and then reevaluate in approximately 1 year and incorporate additional centers. So a proposed implementation process would include different ideas. This could be done with a virtual visit to ensure that the resources and the support is there for the centers, or perhaps more realistically, creating a team that can review the application. If we ultimately decide to do virtual visits, then we recommend the visit participants to be the site lead, nurse or research coordinator, site lead division chief, practice manager, and then the specialty leads that have been identified for the required specialties. And then at that point, testing access would be reviewed. For longitudinal evaluation of these centers, before a registry becomes available, then we are proposing that centers submit a yearly report on the patients that are being followed, research being conducted within the center, and then any challenges that they have encountered. And then on a more longitudinal way, maybe every 3 to 4 years, a more comprehensive evaluation of the centers would ensue. We've developed a draft of an HRC3 partner center recognition application that asks for institutional center information, as well as who the site lead and the lead for the other specialties would be, as well as the rest of the team. Documentation would include a bio sketch from the site lead, as well as a letter of support from the department chair, and then the names of 2 or 3 families that could partner with us. We would request for the centers to submit their clinical and research strengths, as well as how they contribute to the HRC3 network. And then in terms of timing, we are thinking that we would send the applications to the pilot teams in the spring of 2026, and then 1 year after that, reassess where we are, and then add additional teams in the phase 2 of the implementation program. Thank you.